We are Steven and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about qualified sellers will call you in droves, and cold calling is dead. Cold calling's been dead for a long time.
You know, isn't that funny? But that came up recently. I saw somebody talking about that. I want to say it was in social media. I'm like, hold on a moment. Please don't go there. And here are the reasons why. And so we'll talk about it here. I wanted to bring it up here on the show.
Why do you think this cold calling or driving for dollars or what's the root of the person that's saying, what's the story? Tell us the story.
I'm guessing they either have too much time and too much money on their hands.
Right.
Which I can't imagine, because that's what it takes. I don't want to take from the show, but, honestly, I'm asking too. Or you know what, I'll tell you, they just don't know there's a better way. Because that's the reality. If you knew there was a better way to get customers, I don't care what kind of business you have, you would do it. So
throughout my entire carear...
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think you're 100%
Okay.
right. I think it goes way deeper than that. But this is kind of the show. So before
think... Oh, you're going to say more about it?
No, that's okay.
All right.
It's the topic of the show. And
okay.
it comes down to personality type.
All right, well, we'll talk about that.
There's people who start systems.
I got us too closer. My bad.
People who I think start systems in life, who are systemic, just people who start systems, and are people who just want to get through the day. And I think cold calling, it's so unnecessary now, and so ineffective, and so annoying, and just there's nothing good about it, but it still happens.
I know.
Then there's warm calling. So I would have, if I was writing this title, I would have said warm calling's dead.
You know what's funny? You know what the only cold calling I get now? Today, right in today's age, I don't know about you. It's two things. One, I want to give you money.
That's it. That's the one I get.
Okay, well, there's two. I get one, I want to give you money. And two, hey, can we talk about the upcoming election?
Oh, I don't get that at all.
I get both of those. That's it.
I wonder what list I got off of.
Yeah, lucky you. I'm not off of it.
Oh, you know why? I know why.
Why?
Because one of us is registered for a party affiliation and one of us isn't.
Oh. Poop. I goofed that up. Oh. So they don't know. That makes sense. So if you were registered for any party, that party would be calling you. They want to talk. They know how you feel about it.
Well, that, and I've really spent a whole day about 5 years ago
undoing it. I'm sure.
Contacting the federal do not contact lists for about, not political anything, just don't ever call me ever. Registering all the numbers I could think of in my life.
Yeah, mine's all goofed up. Okay.
Today, Jill and I talk about quality. I already said that. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Luke says, hi, everyone. I've been searching through county-wise tax sale reports and noticed that all the sale and posting dates are from 2014 and the 2015 range. I haven't seen anything in the 2018-2020 range. Is this because the data isn't automatically updated? Or am I misunderstanding what the date column means? Should I go ahead and pay for taxsalelist.com? Thanks.
I created countywise.com around 2016, 2017. Personally, and it was in response to, we were getting a lot of questions from people like, hey, in this thing that Jill did on a live event, she was referring to population heat maps. Where can I find those? We were getting 20 of these types of questions a day. So I decided to put and same about tax sales and everything. Decided to put it into a free county by county, state by state, almost down to census tract website. It's called countywise.com. And one of the things that I put in there that ended up being very, very popular is look up any county in the country and you can see what their tax sale activity is. Some counties in Idaho never have tax sales at all. They just don't. They're for whatever reason or didn't get reported. I'm not sure. Anyway, Idaho's a no tax sale state. Arizona, tons of tax sales, thousands in some cases, tens of thousands of properties get auctioned off in some version, whether it's lien or deed. So it became, and still is sort of, a way to look at where you can buy cheap real estate and where inexpensive rural land is moving. The provider of that, which is taxsalelists.com, since then went out of business. They went out of business in 2016. They stopped reporting the data, and so it stops in 2015, and that's the real reason. Mm-hmm. I was having a conversation with Joe recently. I'm very in tune.
Joe or me?
Joe.
Oh, me. Okay.
Did I say Joe?
I couldn't tell. I couldn't know which one. Is that someone named Joe, or is it me?
Really recently about tax sales, and I've never known a source, a national source. People who are into tax sales stay local. They stay in little areas, me included, and it's very hard to get national data. So that portion of Countywise will not be replaced.
Is it a deal breaker?
No. There's so much more. Great question.
Thank you.
So much more sophisticated ways to pick a county now because in the world of data, 5 years old, which is back to 2015, is like 80 years old in the world of manufacturing. So, yeah, everything's changed. There's so much.
It's easier. I would argue easier.
It's way easier, and it's more in tune with the skill sets of real estate people and not like back tax people.
I would argue, though, one of the great things about the evolution of Land Academy is that it's like learning to drive a stick. Nowadays, you might have a stick that a car that's kind of can be a manual or automatic transmission very easily, like our cars. So the kids how do I say this? It's hard to buy a true automatic nowadays. Manual, now I'm getting myself goofed up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it hard to buy a true manual transmission? You seek it out. It's a race car.
It's a race car.
And even then, you have Tiptronic and paddles, and it's very, very different. And it'll still kind of shift for you. You could play with it or not play with it, whatever. So, where are you going with this, Jill?
I want to talk about cars now.
I know.
I can tell you exactly where you can buy a $150,000 manual transmission car.
Okay, there is that too. Okay, my point is, this whole question goes back to how it was, and even though yes, it's changed, I would argue it's easier, and I still like you to know where it came from, what that's about. I like you to know. I want you to be able to. I don't want you to have your cell phone battery die in your car and not be able to find your way home because you've never got home without Waze.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
That would happen to half the population right now.
Could you imagine, like our child included? So, they're so dependent on getting around that way, and I want you to learn the old school way. So, I'm glad that you know this, and I'm glad that you learned this, and you have a feel for it.
There's a lot of good ways to pick a county or a zip code to send mail in that is probably untouched. And looking up tax sale lists and the back tax activity of that county is not one of them any longer. In fact, I put this question in here to make this point. We are in the process of updating all of our education, and it's in my schedule to do it and to address some of these things that are a little bit antiquated. And unlike now, tell you the right way to do it because we'll run out of time here.
Okay. All right.
Today's topic: qualified sellers will call you in droves. Cold calling or warm calling is dead. This is the meat of the show.
Used to be a thing. Well, I'm sure it still is a thing for lenders, for people giving money, clearly, and politicians, but it's not what it used to be. Isn't that interesting? Used to be that would be like, all kinds of things would just cold call you. Travel agents would cold call you.
Most of the world gets up in the morning and does stuff wrong. And here's what they do. They wake up. If you're a real estate agent, most real estate agents wake up and they say, I got to go get a listing today. I got to go out there, walk out my front door, or get on the phone and get somebody to list their house. If they're smart, they have a little database of people they've talked to in the past. Hey, Sally, we talked last month. Are you thinking about selling your house yet? Because we're all ready to go. That's warm calling. So what they're doing is they're going out in the world to try to get business. And it's not just real estate people, although it's fun as hell to pick on them. It's salespeople. You know, we've all had, or if if ever been in sales, it's like, here's a pile of leads, flip through them, call them, and see if they want to loan money.
Go to school.
Yeah, go to school.
Buy a car.
That's all wrong, and that would have been great before data, but now we have data. So what do you do instead? What we do, we send out 5,000 letters and say, look, we want to buy your property. We're not asking them; we're asking to give them money for an asset they don't care about anymore. So 5,000 people are going to get this message very clearly and very uniquely. Hey, Sally Jones, we want to buy a property for $28,000. Doesn't look like you've whatever. It's very unique. It's not, we're buying property in the area, please give me a call. Right. That doesn't work at all. So they get 5,000 people get this unique message, and a very specific number of them are going to get the message. They're going to hunt you down. So now, instead of me going out to try to find land to buy on tomorrow morning, I'm fielding these. They're not cold. They're not warm. They are untouchable hot. They're not even leads. They're people that are dying to sign stuff and asking you for directions on how to sell you their undervalued property.
Exactly.
What's better than that from a sales standpoint?
Isn't that funny? And I wherever this question was, I thought, you know better. I'm like, why is this coming up? I don't really understand. And my thoughts are, I'm like, even if they know direct mail, maybe they're just trying to think about this. I'm like, and I'm trying to save you time and money. By sitting and cold calling, I'm really cold calling. Like, here's how this can happen. We have a company called NeighborScoop. And in NeighborScoop, you can draw a polygon, circle, whatever you want. You can put a shape around a property. You could do it by, you can do a zip code. You can do a neighborhood. You can do a census tract. You can do a subdivision, whatever it is. You could download that data with all the ownership information with phone numbers. So then I know why people can say, why wouldn't I just call them all? Well, here's the problem. You're setting yourself up to waste so much time and so much money and just be in a negotiation mess. I mean, and so sure, I understand you want to buy, every 3-bedroom, 2-bath house or every 5-acre property because you had one that did so great in this area. And you might think that the best way to do is pick up the phone. I know you have it. I know what you spent. It's just going the wrong direction. By you have something to say?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
It's just, and every person that gets your call, it's too easy. Here's my fear. Every person's going to say yes. Actually, I do. Everybody's going to say yes that they want to sell at a certain price. And the problem with this is you can't weed them out. You're not weeding them out. You're touching on every person. It's just so much time and energy to reach everyone to maybe find the 3 that you are really on the same page. And I can't even imagine how long and how much money it would take to figure that out versus even what we do is, say, for example, we send neighbor letters to people to pick up more properties and or sell properties. That is so much more effective than picking up the phone.
Yeah.
So I guess
it's unscalable. What Jill's talking about is not scalable.
Thank you.
You can.
That's it. Save me. I'm trying to. It's not coming out right.
A single person, if they're just a calling machine, like a politician, can maybe make 60 phone calls and have a meaningful 100 conversation. Okay, 100.
Oh, I could blast out 80 to 100 phone calls.
That's impressive.
In an 8-hour day period.
And so,
but not reach them all. But I could leave messages.
Let's kick this up a few thousand feet. Let's get to 30,000 feet and think about advertising and marketing. Okay. If in the beginning of television, there was 3 networks, and the people that advertised on those networks were like toothpaste companies because everybody needs toothpaste. Everybody. There's no specificity to it at all. Then people started putting billboards up because all the people that they determined that most of the people that are driving out of that subdivision, there's only one way to go to work, needed dry cleaning. So great, that was a great place and an effective way to advertise. They all needed that. And then just fast forward to like Google, where people are purchasing AdWords. They're purchasing words like spear gun, and so
cabin property.
Yeah, cabin property. But spear gun's better because it's real specific, and there's this very predictable number of people that are typing that word in because they want to buy spear guns, and then throw in the fact that they're John Deere members, and so you can build algorithms on accuracy. They are still not coming to you. They're still going out.
It's true.
And you're still trying to our way's better. That's why I wrote this. Was interested. We look at a group of topics every week, and because again, I come back to these guys that interviewed us. These guys are semi-experts at Google AdWords and figuring out what they're searching for, and putting together a profile of somebody that's a bunch of dough that's going to make a decision, and then they send them buy from them, drive them to their website. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's very competitive.
Right.
And they're in our group, looking at our very, very low tech way to get a customer using the U.S. Post Office. I don't know what's older or more low tech than that. I've joked around. It's like we'd be kind of hosed if Post Office closed down, but I don't think there's huge danger in that.
Exactly.
So if anybody out there has a better way to send, there's a bunch of people several people in our advanced group who have other companies, and every once in a while they reach out to me and say, or when they join, they contact me and say, I've had this company for 20 years. This is the greatest way to market anything I've ever seen, meaning our idea. Right. And so cold calls and warm calls and calls in general.
Right.
You can't scale it.
Right.
If you send out 2,000 letters and buy a piece of property, send out 4,000.
I was going to say too.
Send out 90,000.
What you need to do is what we do, no matter what your business is. You just got me thinking. Be specific instead of like dry cleaner's a good example. I know how much percentage off I'm going to get. I know how much it costs to dry clean the shirt on the postcard that you send me. Don't send me a postcard that says, no, I'm not kidding, we want your business. I'm not going to go there. That's stupid. But if I see on the back page how much you charge for a dress and a shirt and a slacks, whatever, and I know that my first time people get 50% off, done, I'm in. It's specific. Mm-hmm. I wish that would happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? What if colleges did that? If I got something in the mail that said, we want your kid to come to our college. Here's how much it costs here. Here's how much, comparing maybe their colleges, in-state, out-of-state. We know your kid's a math whiz. Could you imagine? If we had a letter, this is actually not bad. I would be interested in this. You may think I'm nuts, but we know your kid's a math whiz, and we know he wants to go to architecture. We know where you live. We know the schools you visited because of all the data that they have, which is probably true, right? And then they sent us a letter, very strategic. Here are the top architecture programs in the country. Here's where these guys get jobs. Give me some statistics, and then back it up with how much they cost and maybe some incentive.
I'm going to one up it. So think about all that, and that's the architecture examples.
I'd pay attention.
Is real. It is real. Now, what if it says, and we'll pay you to go there?
That too.
Based on your academic performance.
Oh, and by the way, the kid, we already know he qualifies for this.
That's what we're doing. So we send a letter that says we want to pay you. We're not saying, hey, pay us for X.
True.
We want to pay you. We want to send you a check.
Yeah.
In this amount. Like this week, we want to pay you for an asset it might as well be an old broom in a garage that you're never going to use.
Right.
So
I like this.
I didn't pat myself on the back about this. Until we got interviewed by those two guys.
Yeah. This is good. Really gets me thinking. Hope it gets you thinking. Happy you could join us today. Don't forget, Monday through Friday, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called How to Recuperate Your Land Academy Investment in 60 to 90 Days. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. This is one of those topics where, what is it called? Truth time?
Yes.
Truth time.
Truth time.
This industry that Jill and I are in, the Land Academy industry, is horrific. This like education industry and join our group and pay us. It's just 99% of it's just garbage. Right. It's absolutely unfounded. And you can almost without a doubt, tie the level of garbageness with the age of the person that's talking to you on the camera.
Are they too young or too old?
They're too young. They just don't have enough experience. Maybe in 10 or 15 years after they've done what they're actually selling, that you might want to listen. But so recuperating your land investment, Land Academy investment in 60 to 90 days it's not a sales pitch.
I like it.
It's stories about how people have done it. And,
Could you imagine?
Why it's possible.
I would have not been as successful as I am at 19 if it weren't for these 3 things.
Yeah, what can and everything I said, unless you want to learn about video games, because
Then now we're talking.
don't ever listen to me or Jill about video games.
Right.
If we change the show to Video Game Academy, you better run.
You better be 19.
You better run, because I am here to tell you, I am not very good at playing video games.
I love it. That movie's so funny. Oh, video games, and I would not have graduated by showing up so little to class. If it weren't for these 3 things, I would listen to that guy too.
Here's a few more.
How to get a 4.2 and not show up.
Here's a few more titles of things. If I said a show called Understanding Women, don't listen to what I say. That show won't work.
Okay.
I'm not qualified for that show.
Okay.
What's a show you're not qualified for?
Oh my gosh, boat repair. What to do in an emergency on the high seas.
This is good. There's a lot of shows I could never pull off. How to buy a car at a dealership brand new and sell it 5 years later for more. I know there's a show somewhere like that. That's the stuff I see. That's the stuff I see in this space.
That's so good.
Become a millionaire in 20 seconds doing nothing.
Yeah. How about
the 4-hour work week? I'm telling you, the 4-hour work week is stupid. It's truth time.
It doesn't work.
That
truth
is
time.
ridiculous.
We all got into it, and then we all excited about it, and we realized it kind of not working.
Body or something. He did another one.
Oh, really? There's a body one?
Yeah,
that's easy.
Look, stuff takes time, and it's hard.
I know exactly.
Stuff takes a lot of time. You got to put a lot of work in, and it's hard, and you're going to be disappointed.
I know exactly.
That's the show. That's the show I'm qualified to teach.
Yeah. See, I know exactly how to lose weight, but I choose to eat.
I'm qualified for that show.
All right.
Here's another show I'm qualified for. Okay. It's Saturday night, and I told myself I wouldn't drink this much.
That's good. How to guarantee a horrible hangover on Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're good at that too. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. One of us has to call it. We hope you find all of this content valuable, and we do appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please zip over and check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. And your comments and suggestions help us create the type of content we think you're here for. Hitting the like button on your favorite episodes helps us to support our channel's algorithms and gauge your interest for future shows. We are Steven Jill. Information and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.